Well, good morning, Canada. I hope you made your coffee strong. I know we did, because these last 2 days have been great for Canada. This week at the United Nations, the world got a split screen of two leaders, two futures, and two completely different planets.
On one side, you had a statesman who was the hottest ticket in New York, calm, competent, and in demand. On the other, a salesman on a never-ending grievance tour, complaining about the escalator before he even got to the podium.
And honestly, it was a moment of profound Canadian pride. Mark Carney showed the world the quiet strength and intelligence that Canada brings to the table. You know, it really makes you wonder...
Oh, I know what you're going to say. Can you imagine if Pierre Poilievre was there? Would he be speaking with that kind of eloquence? Or would we just get the same Canadian version of Trump-style slogans and rage? I think we all know the answer to that one.
Exactly. So today, let's break down the split screen that has everyone talking. The statesman versus the salesman.
Okay, let's start with Carney, because he's the best. The man couldn't walk 10 feet in New York without world leaders wanting coffee dates with him. His inbox was basically speed dating for prime ministers and CEOs. We're talking 700 requests to meet him at the UN. Dave, that's not just a schedule, that's a rock star rider.
You're right, it's Canada's comeback tour. Calm, competent, and invited everywhere. And he didn't just stumble onto the stage. He walked in with an international Rolodex that was already full. Macron, Starmer, Sheinbaum from Mexico, G7 leaders, heck, even the Pope. He started with instant credibility.
And he put that credibility to work. His agenda wasn't just handshakes. Leading up to New York, he co-hosted an event with President Zelensky on Russia's abduction of Ukrainian children. He met with Mexico's President Sheinbaum to present a united front against potential Trump tariffs.
And the message? It was clear. Canada and Mexico won't be pitted against each other while Washington throws its weight around. It's about strategy, not about swagger.
And speaking of strategy, he planted a flag on foreign policy. Canada recognized a Palestinian state. We joined a group of a growing coalition pushing for a two-state solution. Agree or disagree with the timing, it's a decision with spine, not one based on a weather vane.
Add to that the keynote at the Council on Foreign Relations in New York, where he told them that Canada has what the world wants at a critical moment. Energy, security, critical minerals, reliable policy, and a pluralistic society that actually functions.
Canadians, he said, we want to be masters in our own house, not refreshing Truth Social to find out what happens in our economy. Call it less swagger, more strategy, and allies can actually plan around that. No more government by tweet. Our supply chains shouldn't hinge on a tantrum.
He calls this era what it is, not a gentle transition, a rupture. The old rules-based system is cracked. The US has gone transactional. Wishing will not bring the past back, but building will. So Canada builds strength at home, diversifies abroad, and stops living by somebody else's timeline. In a volatile world, reliability is currency, and Carney's selling Canada with facts, not late-night outbursts.
All right, so now I guess it's time for the other side of the split screen. Donald Trump hits the UN podium and completely opens with complaints. The teleprompter's broken, the escalator's broken, but he's going to speak from the heart.
And we all know what that means. The Greatest Hits album dropped. He called the UN a failure, said countries are going to hell, green energy is a con job, and migration is financing invasions.
Oh, and then there was the claim about stopping those 7 wars again. He listed conflicts from Kosovo to the Congo. Well, the problem? According to virtually every fact-checker, most of those weren't active wars, none were ended by him, and some are still unresolved.
Who does he think he's talking to? It felt like he thought he was at a Red Hat rally in Wyoming. Dude, this is the UN. The countries you're scolding are sitting 10 feet away from you with translation earpieces in, and they have zero patience for stump speech theatrics.
He also took a swipe at countries like Canada for recognizing Palestine. He called out refugee support programs and warned again about the death of Western Europe. It's all caps energy from this guy on the world's biggest stage. You're not on Truth Social, man. You're at the UN.
And that's where the contrast is impossible to miss. Carney walks in with briefings, and Trump, he walks in with beefs.
One leader makes other leaders' calendars, the other just hijacks the news cycle for 12 hours. Carney leaves a room with people thinking about their 5-year investment plans and mineral supply chains.
And Trump, he leaves the room with people asking, wait, did he really say the UN gave him a bad escalator and that the teleprompter operator is in big trouble? Yes, he did.
So here's our verdict from New York. Canada showed up as the adult in the room. The US showed up with the loudest person in the room. Only one of those helps the world sleep at night.
And to understand why that matters, you have to look at the fundamentally different worldviews, especially on the huge borderless threats like climate and AI.
Exactly. For Trump, every global problem seems to be a transaction. It's about consequences. It's about who wins the deal. Who cares about the rising sea levels if your big oil donors are cashing in? Who cares if a rogue AI spreads disinformation, as long as an American company makes a buck on it?
And that's what makes his approach so dangerous. Climate change doesn't care about borders. A ton of carbon emitted in Ohio warms the atmosphere over Ontario and the entire planet. You can't negotiate with physics. We're all in the same boat here. And he wants to drill a hole in the bottom of it because he thinks he can sell the wood.
And AI is the exact same story. A malicious AI developed anywhere can cause chaos everywhere. You can't build a wall to keep out a rogue algorithm any more than you can keep out a hurricane. These are global team sport problems. If your main strategy is to yell at your teammates, you're going to lose the game.
And you see that difference in their specific plans. On climate, Carney is at the UN talking about de-risking the green transition with carbon contracts and using private capital to fund innovation. It's a complex financial plan.
Meanwhile, Trump's plan is to just yell that green energy is a con job and that wind turbines kill birds and whales.
It's the same story for AI. World leaders are trying to create global rules to prevent a digital Wild West. Carney's approach is to build that coalition and set international standards.
While Trump frames AI purely as a tool for national dominance, another weapon in a trade war. It's not a shared challenge to him, it's a race.
So, one leader uses a forum like the UN to build teamwork and agree to the basic facts.
And the other just wants to blow up the game. It's the bottom line, isn't it? Carney plays in the world of verifiable facts, economic models, and peer-reviewed science. Trump plays in the world of gut feelings, rally chants, and whatever conspiracy theory is trending that morning. One is leadership, the other is performance. Trump's just looking for a new slogan to put on that hat of his. It's the builder versus the critic.
And in the end, you have to look at what drives Trump. You could easily argue that strong men like Putin don't genuinely admire Trump. They see him as a transactional figure that they can manage. He seems to chase deference from tyrants because earning genuine respect is just harder.
That insecurity shows. He spent years sowing doubt about elections, and now he seems haunted by his own storyline. Remember that boast about winning Pennsylvania like a landslide? It sparked headlines and calls for an inquiry.
Now, for clarity, Watchdog said it wasn't a confession to rigging, just a brag. But the fact that he constantly talks like this shows where his head is at.
And we have to talk about the money. While he scolds the world, his reported fortune has ballooned. According to reports from Forbes and Bloomberg, he's up billions in the last year alone.
Now, most leaders, they park their assets in a blind trust to avoid conflicts of interest, like Carney did. Trump, he didn't. And it raises a fundamental question. If you're getting richer while in public office, are you really serving the public or are you billing?
You're right. Carney is in New York pitching investment in Canada. Trump is fundamentally pitching investment into Trump. One builds a country, the other seems to bleed it.
And you could see Carney's whole pitch in New York as a direct response to this chaos. He told the Council of Foreign Relations that in a volatile world, reliability is currency. Canada has what the world wants, energy, security, critical minerals, and a society that actually functions.
He also said Canada's want to be masters in our own house, which is, in the most polite way Canadians can say it, that we're done refreshing Twitter, Truth Social, or anything else to find out what our economy is today. Our supply chains can't hinge on Trump's tantrums.
Trump is already proving his point. He's on Truth Social grumbling that a trade deal with Canada will be very difficult because we recognize Palestine. That's not a trade strategy, it's retaliation theater.
But Carney and Canada didn't blink. The message is clear. We build strength at home, we diversify abroad with partners in Europe and Mexico, and we set our own course. It's less theatrical, sure, but fewer angry tweets, more signed deals.
The world is moving on, with or without Washington. Look around the chamber. Canada, France, the UK, Australia, Belgium, Portugal, Luxembourg, Malta, Monaco, all recognizing a Palestinian state or lining up to do it. Spain and Ireland did it last year. That's a Western coalition that didn't exist 5 minutes ago, and it's not waiting for permission.
That's not coy diplomacy. That's a line in the sand, and everyone knows who that implicates.
So if the US wants to heckle from the cheap seats while allies rebuild a rules-based order, well, we'll keep building. Trade lanes, climate deals, and security compacts.
And Carney even met with China. I think big things are on the horizon.
And in the end, real respect isn't bought with brass bands or threats. It's earned by delivering. One leader is in demand, the other is in denial.
And Canada is choosing to lead, not to loiter. The world is definitely watching us.
So, what does the new Canada look like? It's confident, it's trading with Europe and the Indo-Pacific and the Americas. It's a dependable ally that shows up.
And most importantly, it's a country that gently and very politely doesn't give a damn what a volatile neighbor thinks. It's not a tantrum, it's just the Canadian way of choosing to be on the right side of history. It's the most Canadian mic drop ever.
All right, that'll do it for today, but we want to know in the comments, let us know who you think won at the UN. Was it the Statesman or the Salesman?
And if you want more politics every day, make sure to subscribe to our Substack, and you can join the A-Team to support this channel. Also, if you want something a little bit lighter, we have split our channels and we now have the Planet D Travel, where we're uploading new travel videos from our 130 countries we visited around the world every single day. Thanks for watching, everyone, and see you next time.
Keep calm and Carney on.